Coming to you live from my apartment, it's Rob Has a Podcast. And now here's the guy who gave up eating a grilled cheese sandwich at this very moment to make this podcast here with you. I am Rob Cesternino. Hello, everybody. Welcome back to our feedback show. And I am very excited for this one because that we're doing something that we don't often do. We're going to do something that I think should be a lot of fun here on the feedback show this week, that we have podcast co-hosts that you could hear every week talking about the Real Housewives of Salt Lake City. Here joining us on one feedback show, it's Jacob Jones and Maggie Morgan. Jacob and Maggie, how are you?
Woo! Yay!
Yes, give me more. Give me more.
Yes.
Jacob is disappointed because every week on the Real Housewives podcast, I give him like a minute-long intro where I just say like amazing, awesome things about him. Mm-hmm. So that's probably why he was saying.
And Rob,
you want to do that now?
Yeah, do it now, Maggie.
Yes, because there might be some people who are, not Big Brother viewers, perhaps have not checked out the Real Housewives of Salt Lake City. Maybe this could be an introduction to Jacob, and then Jacob, you could do an introduction to Maggie for any of the people that are, Survivor purists.
Let's do it.
All right. So today on the pod, with me as always, is the incomparable, the incredible, the absolutely fabulous, and always very saucy Jacob Jones. How are you today, Jacob?
I am doing amazing. So yeah, that's a little teaser for everyone that didn't know me. Now y'all do. Now I need every adjective that Maggie just said, y'all to say. So my turn. This is my intro for Maggie. Coming to you live from Brooklyn, New York. It's the amazing, the vivacious, the genuine, the beautiful, the sassy, the smart, educated queen herself, Lisa Barlow enthusiast, Maggie Morgan.
Yes.
Maggie, how are you?
I'm great, Jacob. Thank you so much for having me. Again, if you don't know Salt Lake City, you're going to be confused, but,
TBH.
Yeah. Okay. Mm-hmm. Well, everybody's going to know you both very well by the end of this conversation. And
as
so,
they should.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
You picked a great week to come by. Fun episode this week. Been a fun week on the podcast. I had a really great conversation with Christian Hubicki on Thursday night, and it was very fun. Yeah. So
I made it through all 3.5 hours before we started.
What'd you think? What was your review?
It was fabulous. It's fabulous. I love Christian. He's so awesome. Actually, I was on the Gabon podcast and I was talking about how, like, at one point when the family visit came out and everybody was hugging, they were like, wow, you smell so good to their loved ones. And I was like, disgusting. What's wrong with you? And Christian actually DM'd me and clarified that it's because usually they smell like campfire just because they're like next to the fire. And ever since then, like after that, I watched David Goliath and I loved Christian on the show. And I was like, oh my God, he already has listened to me on a podcast, like totally fangirling. So I was super excited that you had him. I thought it was a great podcast. And all of his talk about probability, I was like, that is not what Jacob and I are going to be doing on this feed. I'm glad that they got it in this week.
Yeah. I try to match up the feedback show with a recap guest and say like, okay, well, like what's going to be a different feeling podcast than the one I did earlier that week. And so I thought that
Rob, I had all of my stats ready. So if that's not this type of pod, I think I would just throw these away. Never mind then. Okay.
You have them all written on Post-it notes.
Yes, Rob, all sticky notes right here. Right. Like I had everything, but now you're changing the plans.
Yeah.
And I'm okay.
Okay, well, we're going to get into your feedback questions here tonight in this episode of the podcast. Monday night, I will be live with Jessica Leese on the Survivor 41 patron Q&A. Got to talk with Jess and Mike about Tough as Nails earlier today, so check that podcast out. And then Tuesday night, we are doing something very special with our friend Bryce Isaiah that we're going to do. We're calling it a Purple Pants Party. We're going to do basically like a patron Q&A with Bryce Isaiah, maybe about Survivor, maybe advice with Bryce. And so we're going to be live with Bryce.
Yeah. That's a juicy name.
Awesome.
I mean, I can't take credit for it. It's a segment he does on his podcast. So we're
I have
going
a question,
to
Rob.
Yes.
Is Tough as Nails a nail biter?
Not particularly.
It
No,
was just
not
a little.
often.
It was just a joke I had. We can move.
You nailed it, Jacob. I liked the joke.
You nailed it, Maggie.
Nailed it.
Continued.
That's why we're co-hosts.
Period.
Yeah. All right. Well, would love to talk some Survivor 41, sort of just a big picture with the both of you. Jacob, how are you feeling 8 weeks into Survivor 41?
Oh, I love it. I think I like each week. The early weeks were kind of like well, they were still good, but these recent weeks I've been like stressed out leading to Tribal, because even at Tribal things happen.
Talk about a nail biter.
That was me biting my nail just for the audio purposes. But like even at Tribal, things don't make a damn lick of sense, and then the outcome is the outcome. And I'm like, what conversations weren't I privy to specifically this week? But it's so amazing because we have so many dynamic characters, and also I love and this is kind of going into the later ends of the episodes that have came out. But I'm so intrigued about I forgot his name. I'm not really good with names.
Xander.
No.
Ricard.
No.
Deshaun.
Yeah.
Okay,
the one that was talking to Shan about like, hey, like I don't like the way you speak to me.
Deshaun.
Yeah.
I like people being that honest and like being that like, hey, like I want to work on our communication if we're going to work together. Okay. And I really love that.
Well, that was one of the things that I wanted to talk to the both of you about, because that I felt like that to me, that this feels like very much, and I know you both cover the Big Brother live feed updates, but like that moment between Shan and Deshaun, it feels very much like something that might get covered on a Big Brother live feed update. And I was wondering if either of you had any particular thoughts about their communication styles.
I think Shan is used to just like, I mean, she said in her confessionals, like, being the lead pastor or being over her church and like voicing her opinion and then kind of moving people in that direction. And Deshaun is like, yo, I want you to listen out to me. And I think both can be conducive, but I just think communicating, hey, this is my expectation of how I think you should talk to me. I just think that's all it needs to be. And it depends on if they will take those instructions, those directions to better communicate with each other and actually lay it down and actually play it out. But it seems like as of next week, it doesn't really happen that way. And as we saw in the Tribal, this episode, it didn't really happen that way as well. And so I think I just love the fact that they voiced that to each other. I just think that was an element in Survivor that I typically don't see. And he just was sad that he wasn't heard and he wanted to be heard. And even though it kind of did annoy me a little bit, like, come on, like we're on a game, like she's just trying to get her point across, like y'all are working together. Yeah. But like it was his true emotion coming out, and I loved every minute of it.
What do you think,
I
Maggie?
totally agree.
Yeah.
I mean, I agree. I think that also like there's like a lot of what we covered this past season on Big Brother is the cookout. And, they're calling it the camp out on Survivor, that all of the Black players are working together. And
on social media, obviously, this was filmed before
in the
Big
show.
Brother.
Yeah, absolutely. They didn't know about the cookout yet. It hadn't existed. But a lot of conversations like this actually were present within the Cookout Alliance, because they were like, we're riding together no matter what, because this is important. Getting all the Black players to the end is what's important.
Yeah.
If I'm having a problem with you, I can't just ditch you, because we got to stick this one out. So like, we got to figure out how this is going to work. And that's exactly what they did in the cookout. Like there were so many conversations, I feel, between Tiffany and Big D the entire season, just trying to work on improving their communication throughout the season. And I think that just goes to show, when you have an ally that you're really wanting to work with, just a simple, quick conversation of being like, hey, I didn't like that. This is just the quick way to modify your behavior so that like it comes, like I am receiving it better. This is how I'm receiving it. If you didn't mean it that way. And then if you're just upfront and honest with each other, you can move forward in a productive way.
Yeah.
And I want to know his not Enneagram, but I want to know his zodiac sign, because I feel like it gave very much Pisces energy. Yeah, it gave very much Pisces energy, because I'm a Pisces, and not saying he's sensitive, but I can be very sensitive. And so him just like sitting her down, like, hey, I didn't appreciate, like, it was like, yo, this is me talking to my friends. They try to bulldoze my idea. I'm like, no, like, can you listen to me, please? I just feel like he was like begging for it. And it was a very like, oh, like, come here, let me put you in my frocket or something. And so I don't know.
My frocket
is a frocket is a front. You know those shirts that people have that have the front pockets on them?
Yeah.
It's like the little things with those. It's called a frocket because it's a front pocket, Rob. It's not a back pocket.
Oh, yeah. I thought it was a pocket in your frock.
Tomato.
Mm-hmm.
We get the same answer no matter what. We math is different. We get the same number. You both got an A.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Yay.
So let's talk a little bit about Tiffany, who went home this week. Maggie, how are you feeling about Tiffany?
Oh my God. I'm so depressed. She is gone. Tiffany is my type of reality TV player. Okay. Mm-hmm. I hate that we never get a woman like this on Big Brother. Like the last woman we got that was sort of like this probably like Rennie is the closest thing that we've ever had on Big Brother. Just like, and a woman in her late 40s who does not give an F, who will say what she means, who is there to play and is good. Like I love Tiffany so much. I'm so upset that we lost her. It's such a huge loss for the show at large. Yeah, it was really sad. And I thought that what she said in her exit interview with you, Rob, like, you know, why would they not flush an idol? Why would they get me out without flushing an idol? I just simply don't understand. And I agree, Tiff. I love you, Tiffany, so much. Mm-hmm. I can't wait for her to come back. She has to come back and play again, right? Like that's a given. No?
It'd be very fun.
Oh my gosh. I would give anything. I love her.
Yeah. I mean, I hope Tiffany at least comes back on a bunch of podcasts.
I would love to hear her thoughts.
Mm-hmm. Oh my God. To guest on a podcast with Tiffany, that would be a fabulous evening for me. Mm-hmm. I would love it.
Yeah.
She's awesome. Awesome. She's awesome.
Yeah, she was very fun on the exit interview. So this week was the return of the Survivor Ponderosa video, and we got to see Tiffany return to Ponderosa after becoming the first member of the jury. Now, we were talking a little bit about this right before we came on, that I totally got thrown off about the Survivor Ponderosa video because I went to the Survivor Twitter account and I hit play on the Ponderosa video, and it says, hey, watch Tiffany's Ponderosa video. And I watched it, and I watched Tiffany go into the medical tent, and they were going to put her on the scale. And I'm like, boy, that was a quickie. That was it.
Not a quickie.
Like the first minute of the thing.
And I didn't know until just now that there was actually like a much more Ponderosa video.
It was an 8-minute clip, Rob.
An 8-minute clip. Mm-hmm. An 8-minute clip.
Where she?
What are you doing to me?
Teaches the hotel manager how to say awesome. That's why I said it. It's a reference to the Ponderosa video.
At Survivor CBS says, we officially have our first jury member. Explosion emoji. Check out their experience as they enter Ponderosa and slowly acclimate to normal life again. Clapping emoji. Hashtag Survivor. Okay, so it wasn't like watch the whole video. Here's the link.
Well, Rob, you got.
Is there part 2 underneath, like linked in?
No, it was not like a thread, like a Disney.
This
Plus,
is why you got to get on Instagram, Rob. It's on Instagram.
I got to watch the whole thing on Instagram.
Oh, I don't follow
IGTV.
Yes, yes. Okay, so yeah, I mean, so they threw me off. So, all right, so give me the rundown. Give me the highlights. Can you recap the Survivor Ponderosa video like it was a Real Housewives episode for me?
Maggie, you want to take an I'll throw in my spices every now and then.
Sure. So she gets to the medical tent, which you saw, and then she gets on the boat and they hand her something. And she gets so excited. And she's like, oh my God, did Sia just give me the money already? And then I realized it's the Ponderosa menu. So I go through the Ponderosa menu. I pick out what I want to eat. She gets to Ponderosa. She's excited. She's got a beautiful room. She's going to smell amazing.
Don't stop the accent.
Oh my God, I'm going to smell amazing. They gave me a whole bag. I'm going to smell amazing. I don't even know what a toilet is. Thank God I lost 15 pounds. All my friends are going to be so jealous of me that I look so amazing.
Oh my God.
And then she meets with the hotel manager who is in a grass skirt, and he's telling her that he does the torch lighting every night outside as like a way. It's in like Fijian culture. They put on the grass skirts every night and light all the torches. And she's so excited about it. And she's, asking him how to pronounce things and what things are called. And then she says, oh my God, you're awesome. can you say awesome? And he's like, awesome. And she's like, no, like me. Awesome. So he goes, awesome. She's like, yay! And that's where it ends.
Very cute.
Yeah. Okay. Well, that sounds fun.
Yeah, I think it was very funny, and I just liked how she was ranting about what stupid of a move it was for so long. Even when she got to the camp, she's like, "I know I have high blood pressure," and it was like, "Oh yeah, you do have high blood pressure right now." And it was Tiffany's a good time, and I liked how she reflected, and she didn't seem bitter. She just seemed like, "I'm gonna laugh at the next person that walks in here." Absolutely, because it was a dumbass move, but it was a great experience. Like, I met people who I probably would never have met, and she reflected very nicely about her experience playing the game. So it was a good watch. That you didn't watch, Rob.
I tried to. I got crossed up. Look, it's been a minute since I got Ponderosa videos.
Really
not since May of 2020.
That's my first ever Ponderosa video that I've ever watched, because it's this is the first real Survivor season I've ever seen live. I did a whole huge rewatch prior to Winners at War, but then I wasn't into it enough to even know what Ponderosa was. But and when I binge, I don't go back and look on YouTube at the Ponderosa videos. So it was my first ever real Ponderosa video.
Yeah.
When does that War Ponderosa? When was that one Ponderosa was fun to see, just to see how they connected, because some of them were friends outside of it, and to see how they went back into normal life and just connected.
The Ponderosa for Winners at War was we didn't get it all season, and then they just dropped video. 5 episodes on us where we at the end of the season.
Yeah,
got it. Maybe that's why I wasn't. I just wasn't in the Survivor sphere enough at that point.
Okay. Well, let me ask you a question about Tiffany. So we got a voicemail. By the way, I was so confused. I was on Twitter on Thursday morning, and I always look at my trending topics, and then I spend so much time trying to figure out wait, why is this trending? And the Twitter was telling me that Tiffany was a trending topic, but it was saying music. And in the category of music, Tiffany is trending. I'm like, and I'm probably so dating myself, because I bet that neither of you even know who Tiffany the musician is.
I do know. Didn't she sing that one song about coming over alone? Oh, yeah. I was coming over here.
Yeah. I was like, what? Did she die? Well, why is Tiffany the musician trending? But I clicked on it, and all I saw was tweets about Tiffany from Survivor.
Oh, really?
Oh, man.
So I don't know. I don't know if Tiffany is trending and Twitter doesn't know what to do. What? Who's
Did Tiffany drop a diss track
or
something?
I don't know.
Track?
I don't know.
I think Tiffany is from the same part of America that Enzo is from, so maybe they could get together and collaborate on a track.
So Tiffany is from, or Enzo's from Bayonne, New Jersey, famously, and Tiffany is not from New Jersey.
Isn't she from Long Island?
She's from Long Island.
Well, it's close enough. Are they rivals? Are they grand rivals?
Yeah. I happen to know that
Yeah, I was gonna say you would know. I believe you. I'm sorry. Yeah, I offended people from Long Island and New Jersey.
Yeah, I think don't call somebody from Long Island and tell them they're from New Jersey, and probably vice versa.
I was not trying to say that.
Yeah,
you were from around the same area. I said around. I didn't say they live in the same place. Yeah, I didn't say they lived in the same place.
Yeah. Okay. So let's take this question. This one comes to us from Rich, and let's hear what Rich has to say about Tiffany.
Hi, Rob. It's Rich from New Jersey. I have a crazy question. Am I the only one that was not absolutely gobsmacked by the Tiffany elimination? Don't we think the show was kind of building her up to be more of a character? I mean, not saying she wasn't entertaining and fun, but to me, I felt like we were being set up for a long-haul Tiffany story that just didn't pay off.
So what is Rich saying? That he's saying I'm the only one who wasn't surprised she went home, and then he's also saying seems like she was going to be around for a while. Well, which is it, Rich?
Yeah.
Are you surprised or not surprised?
Get it together, Rich. Come on.
I thought he was saying, am I the only one that wasn't?
I think I'm surprised now.
I don't know that. Is that by Tiffany the singer, Rob?
Yes, it is.
Oh, is it? Oh,
I liked it, Rob. I liked the joke.
Wandoff is coming back into it.
I didn't get the joke. I was confused as hell. But I think his name is Rich.
Rich.
I think Rich is saying, what you just said. Hell, Rich, I'm confused now. Well, honestly, Rich, I was surprised that she left. I wasn't surprised that she left. And I really didn't pay attention. I thought she was a funny character, and I thought she brought a lot to the show, but I wasn't surprised just based off of what was happening, and how like the early conversations were and how she was kind of an outlier at that point. And I started to not be that much of a Tiffany fan when she kind of like flipped on Liana. And I was like, but I feel like she was funny. So I was kind of like, all right, Tiffany can go at any point in my mind.
Well,
Tiffany
she talked about
flip
that
on Liana.
Yeah,
Liana
she talked about her exit
Tiffany.
interview. Yeah.
And Tiffany didn't flip on. Well, in my mind, she did.
Liana literally like was gonna betray her and vote out Evie.
Is that flipping on Tiffany?
Yes, because Tiffany was like that. She flipped on Yasa, the Yellow Tribe.
I don't consider that flipping on Tiffany. I consider because she got mad when Tiffany didn't tell her about her power. When Tiffany got back, when
Liana didn't tell her about her power because she was going to use it to screw her over.
So why would she tell her?
That's why Tiffany was like, "Oh, you're gonna screw me over. You flipped on me."
Okay, but Tiffany at also a certain point kind of was like, "Oh, she's bringing up Xander's name too much. I'm kind of off the Liana's train at this point."
She would have stayed Yasa strong the whole time, Jacob.
But in my mind, y'all ain't convincing nobody but the ears behind y'all, because I'm still at my staying viewing point. Tiffany flipped on Liana first, and I ain't switching sides. You understand me? These eyes saw on the screen were first. Tiffany said, "Oh wait, she wants Xander. She keeps wanting Xander. I want whatever Yasa strong. I'm gonna keep Yasa strong. So I ain't really messing with Liana like that." And then she got mad because Liana didn't tell her about her power. And then what was the other one? I don't know. It was something else too. And so in my mind, Tiffany turned on her first. And anyone can tweet at me. My mind ain't changing. She did what she did.
Well, okay. I have a question for you, Jacob, then. Like, do you think that what Liana tried to do to them was like, what do you think of that move last week? Because I was super upset that we weren't on the feedback show last week because I had such strong feelings about all of that. So like, what did you think about Liana trying to take Xander's idol and trying to vote out Evie?
I liked it. They were already suspicious of Liana Liana. I mean, Xander was already like, oh, no, I don't really know if I can really trust her. Even when they merged, quote unquote, when they hit the merge, he was like, I feel like I can trust Evie and Tiffany. I really don't know about Liana. So I feel like if this dude already ain't trusting you that much, go ahead and take his stuff. I'm taking more than his idol.
What would you have taken?
Rob, don't. Trust me. I'm taking a couple locks off that head. I'm taking the buff.
He would have been Angelina. He would have taken his jacket, his nice jacket.
I'm taking everything. So no, I felt like, hey, good play on you, even though it didn't work and it was very embarrassing. But I'm like, hey, good on you. It's what he deserves. Give it to him. Give them hell.
I don't think Liana made a mistake in flipping on them, but for the life of me, I listened to every podcast last week. For the life of me, I cannot understand why she felt she needed to use that advantage at that tribal council against Xander. Like, especially after Danny comes to you and tells you that Xander knows about it. That's when you say, awesome, I can't use it this week, guys. Sorry. And you keep it until everybody has halfway forgotten about it. And that's when you strike.
I think she got peer pressured by Shan and maybe by potentially Danny and Sean, because she really got screwed, I think, by the twist. But there were only 5 potential names that you could go with. So the options. She
didn't have to use it. That was my thing. She didn't have to use it.
She didn't have to use it. Like, she could have like bluffed them that they were you were going to use it. But I think she was feeling like, oh, okay, well, everybody knows about this thing. I gotta let me just burn it and maybe, because I think the thing about it was that she knew that they knew, but she didn't necessarily know that they thought she had flipped. Like, I think that she felt like that she was still good with them. They knew about her thing, but I don't think that I don't believe that she had the reason to think that they were onto her.
I mean, she went up to him at that, like, before that tribal and was like, hey, so you still have it, correct? Like, tried to reaffirm, like, oh, you think he gonna tell you, even though we knew that they really didn't trust her. Like, she didn't know that. And so
he was like,
Danny, we're
good.
Bingo, bango.
But Xander, At that point, though, Xander had told Danny, and Danny had gone to her and been like, he just told me that you have this advantage. That's when you know that he is not with you. That's when you know that he's suspicious of you. If he's going around telling people about your advantage that you just shared with him. Like, that's, to me, like, and I do not think that Liana flipping on the Yasas was a bad decision. I absolutely think that where she's at right now positionally, it is correct for her. But doing it in that way was, like, she could still have that advantage right now. She could have stolen Nasir's idol, you know, like she could have used that advantage, stolen somebody else's idol, or she could have not used it yet, you know?
So your issue
is
just her. Your issue is with her just using it. It's like, why use it?
Yeah,
if she would have kept it to herself,
exactly.
you wouldn't have a problem. Yeah, she should have kept it to herself.
Yes.
But damn it, she didn't. And hey, I was thoroughly entertained, baby girl. Do it again.
Me
Give me 10 more episodes of that.
Me too. I mean, fabulous tribal council. Don't get me wrong. Thank you, Liana. But I want you to win. And you're doing things like this, and it's making me sad because I would like you to succeed.
Let's play a question from a great longtime listener of Robin's podcast. It's Taylor Cotter. Taylor Cotter wants to know about how in the world did Xander leave this tribal council still with an idol in his pocket?
Hi, everyone. This is Taylor Cotter calling. This is the second week in a row where the majority alliance has failed to flush Xander's idol by splitting the votes incorrectly. Both times, they put more votes on the person that they were certain did not have the idol instead of Evie last week and Xander this week. Why? Is this poor gameplay or am I missing something bigger? Thank you.
This was a popular question this week. People want to know, how could Xander, Tiffany herself is still wondering, how could the group let Xander walk out of there with an idol? And do either of you have any feelings about this?
I think it's just
poor
bad
gameplay.
Yeah,
poor
poor
gameplay.
gameplay. Yeah, I just think that's what it's so. And I think like they probably thought he was. I mean, Ricard, you saw him whispering, "Hey, use it, please use it. Are you gonna use it? Please use it."
I love Ricard, Jacob. Do you like Ricard? I love him.
I
want him to win.
I don't want him to win. No, I don't. I definitely don't want him to win. I want him to have fun, have a good experience on Survivor. Yeah, but other than that, But
I want all the players to have fun and have a good experience.
Yeah, you know what I mean. Even if you don't necessarily care for them. I'm not saying I don't care for Ricard. I just like, you know, he doesn't give me what I want.
Yeah, what's he doing that is making you not want him to have as much fun as all the other contestants?
I love Shan. I did not like. I think
when he ate the papaya.
No, I just wasn't feeling him before that. But he is funny on Twitter with his mom texting him and stuff like that. But I don't know. I just haven't been feeling him. Like, you know, when you feel a player, Rob, you feel a player. You know what I mean? Yeah. Like, and Maggie, I just was never feeling Ricard like that. And anytime him and Shan were like bicker with each other, I would get very frustrated because even though they were both wrong, they both had like valid points to be mad at the other one about. I was like, yo, this could be done. And I took Shan's side in most of the arguments on bias. And I just really have fell off the Ricard train. TBH, and I haven't got back on. I thought the papaya thing, I thought that was funny. I was like, yo, take one more, just a spider, you know what I mean? Just for the pettiness in me. But I'm glad he did it. Yeah, and I think even with the papaya situation, it's kind of like in his mind, why is this so bad? Like, it makes sense for them to be pissed off. It makes sense for them to be frustrated. Why don't you understand that? And so I don't know. Maggie, it surprised me that you're a Ricard fan, TBH. I don't know why.
I love Ricard because he really reminds me of my best friend. My best friend, we watch together, and he reminds me so much of him, like a queer man of color who's like vaguely mysterious, who's like very serious, but like secretly not that serious. Like I really, really like him. And I think he's got a lot to offer the game at large too. And I really am really rooting for him. I think that he's going to be like a really pivotal player when we get to like 7. Like, I think that that's when Ricard's going to come out swinging. And I just have been really enjoying watching him play. And I've seen that he's been having such a hard time on Twitter, but even with like the general fan base, like the people who really like love the show and aren't like the crazy people who are like, oh, you don't want guys, you're dead to me, but like even just like the normal people who watch aren't super into him, which I really just don't understand, because I've really loved watching him, and I think that he's awesome, and I'm really rooting for him.
You know what I think it is? When you try like a piece of candy and it's like, oh no, I don't like that piece. I think that's what it is. He doesn't sit right on my tongue. Like it's like yeah.
Well, Ricard,
that's interesting.
You sit right on my tongue, but not in the way that Jacob's going to make it sound.
Yeah, I wonder why that
I
is.
like the candy of Ricard. That's all I'm trying to say.
I think the other players should be more worried about him. I wonder if if he is a victim of he has not had as many confessionals, and I haven't looked at the count, but I don't really off the top of my head can think of any like a notable confessional. So maybe people are feeling a little bit more like we don't know him as well.
I mean, I feel like I know him. I honestly, I don't think, because I think he gets a lot of airtime, and even in his like scenes with just him with another person, I feel like you get to know him to that certain extent. Again, I don't remember any notable confessions that he did do, so that's probably a reason too. But I feel like I have a good sense of who Ricard is. So that's, I don't know, just not my player.
Can we talk about the papaya thing? I have so many thoughts.
Sure.
Okay.
I'm putting a pin in that Taylor Cotter called up wants to talk about Xander and the vote split. We're not, if you're
wait,
listening, you're like, wait, what about the vote split? Well, I'm not going to forget about that. Okay. Yeah. So we're going to put a little bookmark there, close that book, but we're going to come back to it. Okay. Talk about the papaya.
So I love Shan, obviously.
I love papaya.
Who doesn't love Shan? I deeply identify with Shan, because if I was on Survivor,
right,
and however many days they are out there, and I had not eaten, it doesn't matter if I'm the best game player in the entire universe. I'm going to get sloppy and I'm going to get hangry. And if my closest ally, who I feel like I can say whatever I want to, comes back from winning a challenge where he got to eat grilled cheese and I'm sitting there and he takes a piece of papaya, I'm picking that fight. I am. I'm hangry. Yeah. I'm upset. Mm-hmm. I'm freaking starving. I'm picking the fight with my best friend. I don't care. And I'm sure that she, like, in her clear-headedness, like, she's clearly a phenomenal player. And the past 2 episodes, she's been messy, but like, she's literally starving. So yeah, of course. Like, I would love to see Shan on Big Brother, because I think that if she was in like a cozy house, that the worst part about living in the Big Brother house is that you can't go outside. Like, she would run circles around half those people in there. But on Survivor, like, there is the element that you are literally starving. And the papaya scene, I was like, yes, Shan, that is me. And Ricard is my best friend. And we laughed about it when we watched, because I was like, yup.
Yeah, I mean, you could go to a lunch with somebody and you get the wrong person, you take a French fry off their plate. I mean, that's going to happen in real life, let alone like 17, 18 days into Survivor.
Yeah, TBH. I definitely was like, yo, homeboy, why are you doing this? I love to, like, yo, are you really upset? Like, him just sitting down in Liana's face.
Yes.
Like,
yes, I would say I would be genuinely so upset. Like, I would cry. I would probably pick the fight, run away, and cry. Like, that is when I'm hangry, I'm beyond reason.
Yeah, it is a really big thing on Survivor. Also, I've talked about this on the other podcast, but like, let alone like in real life, like on Survivor, it's like, hey, you ate. And especially it was like the double whammy of Ricard also went to the merge feast where Shan did not either. So
literally,
you've eaten twice in the last 3 days, and I haven't. And now you're going to even like come near my papaya.
Stay away. I've never tried a papaya. I don't think
it's fine.
It's not. Is it like a mango?
I think so. I don't know.
Oh, okay. I know. I saw the black seeds. I got very weird about the black seeds in it, but yeah, Shan, that argument, it was fun. But do you want to go back to Taylor's question?
Let's go back.
Sorry,
go back to Xander.
I got us off topic.
Okay, yes, because I've been thinking about this a lot myself too, and so I watched the episode again before we did the show today, and I guess I have a question of, did they forget about Xander, or did Xander sort of like play his way out of being a person that everybody's trying to target? Where from Tiffany's perspective of like, what about Xander? He's a bigger threat than me. And Shan certainly felt the way about like, hey, we should, Xander is dangerous, but do that many other players feel that way, that Xander is a big threat?
I feel like the guys are still on the wavelength of, oh, let's try to keep the guys because of what they said when the merge feast did happen of like, yo, too many guys have been leaving. Let's get some of the women out. I feel like they can still be on that point. And so that makes up pushing the Xander harder for them to actually go through with it. But I honestly do think that they thought he was going to play as idol because he was in a very vulnerable position and he had the idol. He could have left if they were using like a much more logical brain space, but they didn't. And yeah, I just think bad gameplay. The guys are still, in my mind, still with the men. Let's try to keep as many men, just try to at least even it out in their own minds. And they thought he was going to play the idol. So that's what it came down to in my mind.
Mm-hmm. Maggie, how do you feel?
I mean, I think that it was silly. And I think that, I mean, if I'm on the tribe, I'm not even looking at Xander. My eyes are straight looking at Shan, and I'm trying to figure out how, while she is feeling like she is running the show, I can get her out of here with an idol in her pocket. So like that's like Shan is giving me big Zeke millennials Gen X energy right now, which is when you're peaking at like 10 and 9 and people are staring at you, you are not making it to past 7. Like that's just not happening.
Wow.
And I'm really hoping that fate doesn't happen for her. But like, this is like in Big Brother and Survivor both, like when you're at like 9, 10 and everybody's talking about you and everybody is able in a confessional to be like, Shan's running the show, you might be in a bit of trouble. And I'm desperately hoping that that's not true because I'm loving watching her. But when I'm watching, I'm like, okay, yeah, of course, everybody's like, why aren't you getting out Xander? Why aren't you getting out Naseer? If I was on the tribe, I would be like, okay, who are the people who are not connected to her that I can try and rally to make a 4-3-2 or something, like I'm trying to do any sort of plurality vote that I can to make it happen. I mean, I listen to a lot of your podcasts, Rob. But yeah, that's where my mind would be going. So yes, of course, it was a missed opportunity with Xander, but I think that the greater missed opportunity right now is with people like Heather, Erica, Evie, like Tiffany, Xander, all of them not looking at each other and being like, why is this not a thing?
Yeah, it's a good point. I think that for Shan, I think that it was, really a great thing to be working with Deshaun and Danny, because I think that it seems like maybe more so Deshaun is like, has Heather and Erica that we saw in the episode. Like Deshaun was like at one point, like having like a conversation with Erica and Heather. We saw that Erica felt close enough earlier in the season to tell Deshaun that she wanted to get rid of Sydney. So I feel like that those pieces that are like clearly on the bottom, like in Heather and Erica, like they're, Deshaun's doing a good enough job, like keeping them feeling like, hey, I'm in the final 3 with Deshaun, I think. And that they're not like considering offers from Evie and Tiffany and potentially Xander to go and flip.
You saw that in like the chaos of the tribal, because when Heather got up and then the two kind of crew split, specifically this tribal, it was Heather and Erica and Deshaun over there and then the rest of them over there. And they're like, what is happening? Like, he was like, what is happening? Come on. And so, yeah, I think Heather, their buy-in to Deshaun is very high. And
going back to Xander, is it possible? Did Xander, when he stepped up to be a person to give up his spot in the immunity challenge to get rice for the tribe, is that possible? Did that earn him any goodwill potentially with the group? And I know it sounds a little naive, because I would feel like, as somebody who's talked about Survivor for so long, like, oh, that stuff doesn't matter. But is it possible that it did?
I have a great theory about this. And unfortunately, I am going to take us in a bit of a different direction again. But I actually feel like for Xander, it doesn't matter. But for Naseer, it mattered so much. I think that's why Shan protected Naseer at that vote. I think that Naseer stepped up with Shan to get them rice. And Nasir got her papaya when she was deeply depressed and sad. Like, I think that is the thing that is endearing Shan to Nasir. And of course, he's loyal, and of course, all these other things. But I think in her confessional, even she said he's loyal and he provides for the tribe. Like, I think as someone like Shan, who is literally starving, someone like Nasir, who is willing to help her eat, genuinely really endears him to her.
Yeah. And that's a good point. I also made a note when I rewatched the episode that Nasir says that he trusts Shan and Ricard. And you almost hear nothing about Shan and Ricard as a pair. But for whatever reason, it seems like that Nasir feels pretty close to those two people from the Ua tribe, even though Danny and Deshaun are ready to throw Nasir under the bus. Shan works to protect Nasir in this episode. So even when Heather was like throwing out Nasir's name at the tribal council, she had like, why don't we just do Heather? Let's get rid of Heather. So it seems like that there's like an interesting tug of war with Shan and potentially Ricard want to keep Nasir, but Danny and Deshaun want to get rid of Nasir and keep, the Ericas and Heathers around.
I mean, I definitely see that. And I feel like it was I don't know when the disconnect happened where Deshaun and Danny were like, okay, let's get Erica out. And then, okay, let's kind of like keep her and let's like utilize her. I'm interested to see like how that exactly took place. But yeah, I don't think, back to the question, I don't think Xander necessarily, I don't think that benefited him in any way. Again, I feel like when he stepped up, when he gave Erica the position and we saw Deshaun roll his eyes, I feel like it could be a similar thing with that. So it can be like, okay, we know what this guy is trying to do. He's trying to build favor within the tribe. And I feel like that's going to be in their mind, so it won't work. So good guy. And I think Xander's strategy with that, well, this is kind of not being with this question, but it's regarding when he gave Erica the thing, and his mindset was, like, I want to be with the losers, and it's much more camaraderie when you're with them, and then you see people come back, and then we're all pissed because we didn't do that, and we can bond over that. So I liked his mindset with that. I didn't think I was going to come in liking Xander, but I still don't necessarily, I like him. Yeah, I like him. He's a cool dude. But yeah, I don't think
he's so young though. He's like 20 years old.
Yeah,
I know. I was like, hello, Xander. And I went to look him up on Instagram, and he like graduates from college in 2 years. And I was like, he's like 19 years old. He's so young. Killing it on Survivor though. No, child. But yeah, he's killing it on Survivor.
He'll be watching this saying, let me shoot my shot at Miss Maggie real quick.
Not until you graduate from college, Xander. Anyways.
Let me talk about the reward that the survivors were playing for, that Xander ultimately gave up his spot to win. That this made me laugh every time I saw the episode. I thought that Jeff described the reward in a very odd way, and I'd love to hear what you think about this.
First 5 to finish, win reward. Want to know what you're playing for?
Yes.
Sure. Grilled cheese back at camp.
Why is he saying it like that?
Grilled cheese.
Grilled cheese.
Very like Gertie and back at camp. I mean, grilled cheese is. I was wondering. I would have been pissed because I'm lactose intolerant, so I would have been like pooping.
Me too.
Well, that's what Tiffany said about Xander. She said he didn't give up because he wanted to, because he did it because he's paleo.
Yeah, well, no, because I think about this all the time. Because remember, Sarah Lucina on Winners at War gave up her Chinese food advantage to Nick because it was his birthday, and she said she's allergic. And I have a soy allergy.
MSG, I think. Yeah.
Oh, well, I have a soy allergy, so I also wouldn't be able to eat the Chinese food. So, but I have such a sensitive stomach, Jacob, that like, even if I went on Survivor and they had all of this food and it was like safe for me to eat, I would need to like slow down. I could not have any alcohol. I would take 2 sips of something and be like falling over. Oh yeah. Like if I had been starving, I would need to go so slow with the food. Like I'm just now watching Cole Wrong, and I watched, the poor guy who ate too much steak.
Joe Del Campo.
Yeah. I was like, that's me on Survivor. But like, of course, Xander's going to give it up because you don't want to be, screwed over in the next few challenges because you're lactose intolerant, Jacob. I totally agree.
But also, kind of boo-booing in the ocean is kind of like an experience that I've always wanted to do. TBH, like you hear about it, and like it just kind of like seems cool a little bit. TBH, just it's kind of like a bidet. You know, water coming in, stuff coming out. Or wait, does water go in? Whatever, we're digressing. But yes, Xander, I just love, sorry, my mind. Oh, it's a world in here. But I just love the eye roll that Deshaun gave to Xander when he did it. And I just thought it was so cute. Okay, can we move on from the bidet conversation?
Sure. Let's go back to Jeff talking about the grilled cheese sandwich.
the girthy grilled cheese sandwich.
Losers, the smell of grilled cheese back at camp being eaten by somebody else.
What is that?
It's so weird. I think Jeff has a thing for grilled cheese. I would have been very disappointed.
You think that Jeff loves grilled cheese?
He has to. If you say grilled cheese, like Rob, you have to.
Grilled cheese is good
because he says it again, and he says it like in a weird way.
Gave up grilled cheese.
Yes. This is Jeff's favorite afternoon snack, favorite Survivor snack. While he watches the episode, this is what he's eating. Like, grilled cheese.
Grilled cheese is good, but
it ain't grilled cheese though.
I don't know. Is Jeff? Is this actually his favorite food, or is he pretending like? And he's somebody who's never had grilled cheese.
No, because we've seen Jeff like advertise steak. I haven't heard of steak. You know what I mean? We've heard him do peanut butter and jelly, not PB&J, but he put that on that grilled cheese. So this has to be his favorite. This has to. Be.
Sure.
No first 5 to finish win reward. Want to know what you're playing for?
Yes.
Sir. Grilled cheese back at camp.
Grilled cheese.
This is his favorite food.
Camp.
It's like coming from like a guttural place in his throat.
Literally. Grilled cheese back at camp. Yeah, I love it. This is his favorite food. He gets excited. I bet Jeff can make a mean ass grilled cheese though. I bet he can with some bacon.
Yeah, you know what else you got to put in it? Crush up pretzels.
Well, I don't
pretzels.
I swear, because it makes it crunchy. So good.
Mm-hmm.
I promise. I know you're looking at me like I'm crazy. I promise it'll change your life.
I feel like some caramelized onions would be good with that too.
Mm-hmm. Okay. Well, that wasn't an option.
That was it. I didn't hear no caramelized onions. I didn't hear that.
Nasir also talked about the people that were crying about grilled cheese.
I can eat steak when I get home. My daughter will make grilled cheese.
Now,
the same
Nasir's daughter is making grilled cheese. I thought that she's young. How old is old enough to let your kids make grilled cheese?
Right. Well, I don't have kids first off, but I feel like if you at least able to say hi and bye, you can make some grilled cheese.
You can? I would not let my kids near the stove.
Really?
No.
Yeah, me either. I think 9. If they've
9,
shown that they are safe, they are safe around open flame, 9.
Mm-hmm.
But once they burn themselves once, they're not going to do it no more. So
the problem
that's a lesson learned.
The problem is the flipping. like to be 8 and not have awesome like hand-eye coordination
Maggie,
skills.
why do you have
flip
to
a grilled cheese?
You can just get a spatula and do it like that. You don't have to lift
but then if you flip it and it goes too fast, then it breaks apart.
Then you got yourself a little slimy grilled cheese. Then it's still bread and cheese, child. I feel like 6 get in that kitchen. You know what I mean? Like if you want if you want to grill cheese, and if they burn themselves out, mommy, I burn myself. Put a Band-Aid, give it a kiss, and then they'll know next time I can't trust that, and go from there. But also put it in the microwave, put that thing on 30 seconds, and heat it up and make it happen. You don't always need a stove.
Let's talk a little bit about Heather, who she had a breakout episode. Everybody was loving Heather on social media this week. Maggie, do you have any thoughts on Heather?
Beautiful gowns, great gowns. I don't know.
That was shady.
I'm happy she got a confessional. Like, I feel really bad for her. I'm sure she's sitting at home like, I was there. But like, I can't have an opinion on her because where is she? But I do love the meme of like, where is Heather? Yeah. Like instead of where's Waldo, we're playing where's Heather in the Survivor episode. But she did try something tonight or at the last tribal, and like I hope that means that we'll get more Heather confessionals. But I don't mean to be shady. Like, I like literally everyone on this cast. I know to every single person I've been like, I love them, but I do really like everybody. I think everybody's so fun and dynamic, but I just like Heather. We just literally do not know her at all. The only thing that I know about her is that when she couldn't throw the balls up, she tried really hard. And Jeff said it was like amazing. And she has dreams or fake dreams about Sydney, which was iconic. Yes. But that's all.
Maggie, I know that you are such a fan of characters on these shows. What was your take on Sydney?
What was my take on Sydney? Gone too soon. A queen. Are you kidding me? Her exit interview, and she's like, they want to get out a big threat with a twist. I'm a huge threat. What can I say? 17 F-bombs thrown in there. Queen. I wanted way more Sydney confessionals. I'm depressed that now she's gone and she's not even on the jury, so we don't even get fun Ponderosa videos. Queen. Absolutely. You know who she reminds me of, kind of?
Who?
It just came to me and I haven't workshopped it, so I don't know if I should be saying it on a public podcast for him, but she kind of reminds me of Double D. Danielle DiLorenzo, Captain of Sports.
Yes. Okay. That's interesting. Can you talk that through? Her as Danielle DiLorenzo?
Like, Danielle DiLorenzo also knew she was the biggest threat, a captain of sports, very competitive.
Yes.
The only way to get me out is with a 17 layered twist. She knows who she wants to work with. Whoever she doesn't want to work with, she says, screw you too. She is take no shit. Yeah. I feel like there's like a line that we can draw there, no?
Yeah, I see what you're saying, but I feel like that there is like an arrogance to Sydney that I don't really get from Danielle.
From the captain of sports?
I mean, I think she was literally stating a fact of like that, hey, like she's a captain on sports teams. Like, know. So I think that like maybe like Sydney is a much more like turned up version of that.
Like, again, like I said, I hadn't quite workshopped it yet. So glad to do it on air with you.
Yes. Now, I noticed that Jacob seemed like that he was not necessarily in agreement with everything you were saying about Sydney.
I don't think we needed more of Sydney. I think the most content I got from Sydney is post season, like after she was eliminated. I saw that one confessional where she was like, "Oh yeah, I'm like the hot stuff around camp," and that was kind of the only thing I saw of Sydney. She was bamboozled in that last tribal. She looked confused. Her alliance turned on her because honestly, like the thing slipped, and we really didn't get much content from her at that tribal when she left. So has Sydney provided a lot for me? Not really. Not as much as she's given Maggie.
Well, she gave and she's gone, and like I say la vie to Sydney.
Say la vie. But yeah, so I can do without her. TBH.
Okay. Yeah. All right. Well, this was going to be about Heather, so let me play you a voicemail that we have about Heather, and that comes to us from Rich. Here's Rich.
Hi, Rob. Rich from New Jersey here. How much do you think Heather's sort of last minute outburst at Tribal was also due to the fact that this is only her second Tribal Council? I mean, if you rewatch that clip, she looks almost giddy to get up and start running around and telling people stuff. I'm just wondering how much of Luvu not being a Tribal Council is shaping some of these votes, specifically the Heather action. Thanks.
Jacob.
Yeah. So this kind of was on your last question, so I want to kind of tie the two in. I am falling in love with Heather based off of social media and based off of the support that's rallying behind her. Again, Heather isn't getting that much content. I don't know if she's giving that much content besides this week's episode. But also, it was a moment that she was at the watering well on this past episode, and she was talking to Deshaun, and she was talking to someone else. I can't remember who. Probably Erica. I want to say Erica. And she was about to say something, and then the camera switched, and I was like, no. And I thought that was the only Heather content we were going to get. But that is, I think Rich brings upon a great point, because I've never thought about it, but she only has been to, this is her second tribal, and
that's wild.
She's afraid, and I think she's like, yo, and she had that moment when she was talking to Shan, or is that in the previews for next episode? Oh no, was it when she was in her confession? She was like, I don't like the way Shan is like dictating everything. Was that this episode or previews for next episode?
In this episode, she was like, well, why was my name out there?
Yes.
Who said my name? She was like, well, I might
have.
Yeah.
I feel like if you give
Just
Heather I feel like if you scare her a little bit, she's taking it to the moon and she's going. So I think that this is what the result was. So if we can say Heather's name every week, even if we're not serious about it, just to get premium content of, wait, are we done? Wait, I have something to say. Trust me. You know what I mean? A tornado effect. I would be down, but I do think this being her second tribal, her hearing her name, honestly, for the first time, sent her head in a spiral. So absolutely.
Yeah. It is wild.
Beautiful skin.
Oh,
yeah.
Gorgeous skin. I would love her skin routine. Like it's like she like is so like radiant, I feel out there.
Natural oils, baby.
Gorgeous.
It's an interesting time in Survivor where it's like, hey, season 41, it's the monster, make big moves, play aggressively. You gotta take these shots. And then, you have a player like Heather where I think clearly like that's not her game, but it's sort of like, I guess when in Rome. And so you see her like get up and it's like, watch this, everybody. I got this. And it's just like did not land.
And
we saw never thought of it like that.
That could be something as well because we saw her last time when it got crazy. Her and Erica were just sitting there, and so it could be, I wasn't in the action. They're not gonna know what to do next with me. And so I think it was a lot of let me get into this game. Let me at least try to get some camera time.
I'm gonna shoot my shot.
Who knows how many times they were pulling her for a confessional? You know what I mean? And so she probably knew. Let me turn this shit up real quick. And
you know who she reminds me of?
Who?
Sheriff Kathy from Big Brother 12
getting stuck in the caramel.
Yes. That's a ding.
Yeah. Do you think that in a similar fashion, Maggie, are you calling your shot that somebody will like play like a crazy advantage at a tribal council only?
Yes, I am. Absolutely.
Like all the idols will get played. Yeah.
And then Heather will be the one walking out the door for the most fabulous move of the season. Yeah.
TBH.
Okay. Honestly, with this new context that both of you have brought to me, I might have to, after this, become Heather's number one stan because this has made me laugh a lot. But it might be like the lore around Heather versus like what Heather's
I think it's the lore around it. Yeah, I think that's what it is.
But yeah, hilarious.
I have a question for you both. This is a question about Evie. This is from Liv.
Hi, Rob and everyone. This is Liv from Ventura, California. So I'm a huge Evie fan, and I thought there was no way that they were going to win from the beginning because just stuff that I like never happens. And I feel like people have been sleeping on Evie, even though they've been really consistent. They've been narrating a lot. We get emotional content from them. And now, based on everyone else's edit, I could really see an Evie victory. I don't know if that is just the super stan in me talking or if it's really what we might be looking at. So just wanted to get y'all's opinion on where you think Evie stands and do they actually have a shot at the win? I think they're definitely one of the top contenders right now, but I feel like have been a little like slept on in the Reddit and Discord and Survivor online community. So just want to know your thoughts. Thanks so much. Just started listening this season and recently became a patron. So
yes,
guys.
Okay.
We love that.
All right. Liv, thank you for that. Do we think, is it possible that Liv is onto something? Could Evie go the distance here? Because I think that for Evie, I think it's just Evie is like public enemy number one here at the final 11. Such a long road to go. Like if you told me before this episode, hey, I think Evie is going to win, I'd say, okay, I could see that. But after this episode where Evie is so clearly at the bottom, I see it hard for there to be such a big turnaround.
I see it hard as well. And especially when she said that thing at Tribal where no one spoke to her about the vote. Like, even if like we know she's safe, like let's at least try to build something where we can use her vote to our advantage, and that it wasn't any of that. So that made me really kind of take a turn on the Evie winning train. And I've liked Evie as a player and just her story on the show, but I definitely think that, yeah, when Evie said that, I was kind of like, okay, they don't want to work with you, and it's evident. And they want you out. So
evident.
I mean,
yeah. Evie, Rob, you're funny.
That's why they pay him the big bucks. That's why that's why the caller became a patron, is those jokes. Rob couldn't resist.
Yeah.
I think that they just would need like a gigantic shakeup to happen in order for anything to turn around for them. Like they need Deshaun to turn on Shan. And then they can wriggle their way in and figure out where they can fit. But like, if there's not a huge, gigantic shakeup, they have such a long road ahead. And like I said, you know, what I've really noticed through my whole rewatch of all of Survivor, which I think I've seen like now 30 of the 40 seasons, when whoever is like looking real strong or real like rough, right around like 11, 10, 9, like they are not long for the game. It's the people who are getting more like sneaky edits at that point that are going to end up at the end. Or the people who are like standing next to the people who are either public enemy number one or controlling the game. So I think that's why I think like Ricard has a good shot. And I would have before last night thought that Tiffany, or 2 nights ago, even thought that Tiffany, like if Xander left and then Evie left right after him, I would have thought that Tiffany like could easily have like faded into the background and made her way to a final 3. But yeah, I just think that Evie just has so far to go. Yeah. And it's tough right now.
Maggie, it's a really good point, especially in the modern seasons of Survivor, where you could make a case like in sort of like the middle school year of Survivor, and certainly in the older school seasons where it's like, okay, hey, like, well, you're out in front, that person is going to win most of the time in Survivor season. And I think that Big Brother...
Tom Westman was the main character from the first episode of Palau.
Right. And Big Brother, I think, still has that to some degree. Like, obviously, it did not like work out that way for Tiffany in Big Brother 23. But there are a lot of the modern Big Brother seasons where the person that's sort of like out in front from the start ends up being the person who wins in the end. But I do feel like that Survivor really has not had that in quite some time.
It's because I think everybody can vote at every tribal. So, and everybody who plays now is savvy. Like if Shan were playing with B-level players, Shan would be able to be running circles around them and I would not be nervous for her. But like this cast, I feel, is very akin to like the cast of Millennials Gen X, where everybody was there to play. The cast of David Goliath, everybody knew what they were doing. And like, I just think that this is the moment where like if you are really taking the reins on the game, people are going to notice and people are going to get together and figure out how they can like get you out. And it's tough because you want to be in control, right? Like you don't want your allies going home. Like you want to be able to finesse and be in control. And that's why I do think at its core, Survivor is more complex than the game of Big Brother, because you are only voting for 2 people in any given week. And in Survivor, everyone is an option unless you have the necklace, which is to me why it's so much tougher and why there's so much to account for, and why like the exhaustion level just from not only just, you know, you literally are sleeping on rocks and no food, but also every single week, like you could be the one walking out the door. Absolutely. I can't, it's not the game for me to play, but yes.
Also,
yes.
Can I add this? I think that, do I think that Evie will make it to the end? Probably not, but just based off of the competitions that we did see in this episode and like just Evie's knowledge about the game and the competitions, it gave me hope that a comp beast is on the horizon and we're going to see that play out. We haven't also seen like that much, like, you know, hardcore competitions, but you know, Evie was like, yo, I seen that before. And then Jeff made a point to say, hey, future Survivor players, watch and pay attention to competition so you can know. And so that gave me a lot of hope just for Evie's placement in the game. So
well, I actually feel the opposite, Jacob, where that Evie was so dominant in both of the competitions in this episode that I feel like that for Evie at this particular point in time, like I think the move was to somehow like get back under the radar, and then Evie between the puzzle that Evie solved in 2 seconds, plus winning individual immunity, I think that Evie, if anything, made their target bigger in this episode, where I think the mission here at the final 11 is like how does Evie get back under the radar? And I feel like that nobody has lost sight of that big target. It's gonna be tough for Evie to maneuver.
It's no going back under. You're on top and you're seeing, and that's what it's going to be. Yeah,
like Evie needs a strategic break more than like challenge dominance. Evie needs a few people to want to work with them.
I don't think that'll happen though. TBH. I mean, Survivor things could change like that, but just when Evie said no one came up to even talk to her about the vote because she had a vote. You know what I mean? And so it was like. Damn.
And the thing that sucks is that I think that, just one last point is that I know last week, Sydney said in her exit interview with you that like Evie and Deshaun were both like heartbroken that they had to go against each other, because I think that Deshaun would have been Evie's in. Like, I do think that if they had not been pitted against each other, where it was literally going to be one of them or the other, and then now there's like animosity. And I know you and Steven have talked a lot in the know-it-alls about how like the time span between tribal councils has been such a huge factor this season because you don't get to decompress. Like, of course, they're still going to be like aiming their targets at one another, and that tension has not dissipated for them to come back together and be like, maybe there is an opening for Evie there.
Yeah. Speaking of Evie and this episode, Paolo has a question about the challenges. Here is a question from Paolo.
Hi, Rob. This is Paolo from Toronto. I just have a question for you. We keep hearing drop the 4, keep the 1. If that were really true, why are we keeping challenges from past seasons and not dropping them? Thanks.
Yeah. Jacob, does it bother you about the challenges being recycled?
It doesn't bother me. I could see if I was playing the game, I would be very annoyed. And even Shan, I believe, tweeted something to that sentiment of, if this is like a new chapter, or someone, if this is a new chapter, then why are we still just recycling the same competitions?
Yeah, a preview of our social media segment.
Yeah, but yeah, I can see that being very frustrating for them, but it didn't bother me.
Yeah. Maggie, how do you feel? I mean, that Big Brother, that they do the same competitions over and over and over again, but it's not a matter of that it's the same puzzle.
I'm just going to be completely honest with everybody here. I don't like watching challenges on any of these shows. I usually fast forward. While I'm watching the season live, I'm watching the challenges. But if I'm going back and watching like old Survivor seasons, I fast forward, especially the reward challenges. I just fast forward because I don't care. So I've never seen this puzzle before. I don't know, I'm the exact wrong person to ever go on Survivor and be like, oh, I know all the challenges, because I don't pay attention to them. So yeah, to me, I'm like, oh, cool. I don't know. I like really don't have a feeling about challenges because I don't love them.
When I watch Big Brother, I hate challenges, but watching Survivor, I feel like the element of the game, besides just winning the power, it's another element of the game that happens within the competition that I think or I see. And that's why I like watching the competition with Survivor, because Big Brother, I don't care. Like, you win. And it's really no strategic thing that happens. But with Survivor, I feel like they do a really great job at involving more of, in some competitors, like the strategic game within like themselves,
like teamwork,
the players. Yeah. And like, just like, I feel like that, how you perform in the competitions has much more of an impact on Survivor than it does on Big Brother. So I think that's why because I'm on the same sentiments with you with other competition shows, but with Survivor it's kind of different.
Well, and that's why I said like reward challenges specifically. I'm always like skip, because that's not like tribe dynamics, but usually the immunity challenges I'll watch, but individual immunity challenges, usually I skip through those too. I'm sorry, everybody. I'm sorry.
But they can be perfect. Like talking and like they can talk, and even with the reward challenges, I feel with the reward challenges, some capacity of that team aspect is still involved. And even we saw in this one when Xander sat out, it could be a power on the side that you oblivious. You have your fingers over the entire bench, but you just don't have your fingers over that part. And I don't know how the hell that happened. I bet he was slapping himself in the head when he saw that.
Yeah,
but
he had a TikTok video that he was upset about it. Yeah, and just to go back to Shan's tweet that Shan said, "New era?" ? How about new puzzles ? But then laughing emoji. So good sport about it. But it did cause Shan to miss out on grilled cheese.
But no, that was a very.
I'm praying.
That was a very shady. I think all shade was. When you can cuss someone out and then say "ha ha" at the end of it. I feel like that's what this was. She was pissed about it and she just laughed it off.
Yeah,
I'm praying she gets some food. I'm praying, Shan. You need food. I know.
They have rice now.
Oh, they do
have rice now. But I want you to win a good reward. I want you to get bread. I want you to get some dessert.
Yes.
I have a question for you. Since you were out there, can you find and I don't know vegetations or where vegetations prosper.
Yes.
But in Fiji, they're in Fiji, correct?
Mm-hmm.
Is there and again, this could be a very stupid question, but do they have garlic cloves or onions growing up or sprouting anything?
So I've never played Survivor in Fiji. That I don't believe. Are you specifically asking about garlic and onions?
I'm asking for things because when I cook rice, I typically shave down some garlic and put some onion bits in it. And I'm wondering what you played Amazon. You played Survivor Amazon?
Yeah.
Okay, I don't know where the hell that is. But did they have onions and garlic there?
I did not encounter any. I don't know if garlic.
He had a Coca-Cola fridge.
Yeah,
he had a Coca-Cola fridge on Survivor
the Amazon. I will say in my second season in Panama, Sue Hawk said just take some seawater and throw that in with the rice, and that'll at least give you some salt. Yeah.
Oh, I once suffered a really bad
She's like,
rash
no problem.
from salt water. Yeah. It was horrible. When I was 9, I went on a cruise and I got in salt water. I legit had a rash above my ass, and I was like, "What is this?" And it was bruising up, and it was scabby. It was from salt water. And I guess ask me, have I touched salt water since?
Have you touched salt water since?
Not a bit.
Maybe you're saltwater intolerant too.
I think so. Damn, I'm just a walking problem on Survivor, huh? We got cheese and we got sauce. No good combination for Jacob.
No,
baby.
Jacob, that's how I feel though watching the show. Sometimes when someone gets voted off, I'm I think I'm not right for Survivor because I think if I got voted off, I might be I get to eat and sleep in a bed. I might be I love the game, but I need to feel comfy.
No.
Okay, let me give you a question that is in both of your wheelhouses, and this is from one of our great patrons. This is from Elisa.
Hello, Rob, Maggie, Jacob. This is Elisa calling in. Sydney from this season of Survivor exudes a lot of Lisa Barlow energy, especially with Lisa's tagline, "You don't have to like me. I love myself enough for the both of us." Pretty much exactly what Cindy would say. What are some good taglines for the remaining Survivor contestants? And bonus for a good Jeff tagline.
Okay. Do we have any potential Housewives that you do for Survivor or vice versa?
Oh, I have. So this literally just hit my mind just now. So I have a good one for Shan. And it is... Okay, so this is it.
I thought that was the tagline.
This is no. So it's I may be a preacher, but I lie like a sinner.
Oh crap! That was awesome, Jacob. That's so good.
I know, right? I literally just hit because I wanted something with Jesus. We got Mary Cosby up there, but that is a good one. For Jeff, Maggie, you got something for Jeff? Or anyone else?
No, I'm trying to think of one for Nasir. How many languages does Nasir speak, Rob?
Actually,
3 or 4.
I believe the answer is how many languages does he speak? I believe the answer is multiple.
How many is multiple?
Good question.
Okay.
How about 7?
How about I'll kick your ass on the island in all of my multiple languages for Nasir. Something like
that's
that.
Cute. That's cute. That's cute. Oh, that was a fun one. Wait, for Jeff.
Grilled cheese.
I must say grilled cheese.
No. I would say the
Drop
tribe.
the 4. Keep the 1.
Okay, no, I have a great one. The tribe may have spoken, but I always get the last word.
Oh, that's good. That's good. I like that. Damn, good job.
Yeah. Okay.
High five.
High five.
Well done.
Well
done.
Hold on. I want to circle back. That probably makes sense, Jacob, as to why you were over Sydney. And I was like, Sydney is queen because she's like Lisa Barlow.
Probably. And yes, me and Maggie get into several disagreements about Miss Lisa Barlow. So that's so funny.
Rob, do you want to come on the Housewives podcast?
So what would I need to do? Would I need to
just watch one episode?
Watch one episode? Yeah, I would definitely do that if you would have me. I mean, I love trashy TV.
Let me check my list. Let me check our list of people.
I've been trying to watch. I was trying to get Nicole to watch Tampa Bays with me.
What is Tampa
I'm not
Bays?
watching that. Oh.
Yeah, I don't think I would want to watch that either.
I don't even know what the hell that is, Rob. What is that?
Is it on Bravo?
I know it's on Amazon Prime. Amazon Prime.
Oh, no.
Is it a reality show?
Reality show, yeah.
Rob, you need to watch Housewives.
Okay.
I feel like Nicole would love Salt Lake City.
She would.
Yes, I really think she would.
I think she'll love
What do you think
Beverly
she would
Hills.
like about it?
I think she would like that all of the women are very this is the thing about Housewives is that they're all women with children, like in their late 30s, early 40s. Yeah, not all of them, but they're all accomplished outside, especially on Salt Lake City. They all run their own businesses. They all have a ton of different things going on, all these accomplishments. They're all from very different walks of life, but there's a strong Mormon presence obviously in Utah. So several of them are ex-Mormon, one of them is still practicing. And they just there's this Rob, you need to watch it simply for one woman and one woman only, and her name is Mary Cosby. I just need you to experience Mary Cosby for me. So yeah, I think that you guys would like it.
All right. Well, let me know when we're doing it. I'm excited. Nicole, she can get very judgy about these reality TV.
Well, that's the point. That's the point of Salt Lake, of Real Housewives. You watch to judge the housewives, and you pick the one you like. You set your cart to that horse, and then everybody else Jacob knows this. Jacob has the housewives that he stands on other, seasons.
I don't have a stand-worthy one on Salt Lake City yet, but
not yet.
We're getting there.
there. Yeah. All right. So we always on the Feedback Show like to check out what's going on in the world of Survivor social media, and to take us there, we have another Jacob Sager Weinstein, who has recorded the intro once again to this week's social media segment. Here's Jacob Sager Weinstein.
TikTok, Twitter, they always take me higher. I eat them up just like Rick Hard eats up a papaya.
Wow, I love that.
Wow. Okay. By the way,
do they make a new one every week?
Jacob makes a new one every week. Yes. But by the way, in addition to making a jingle, Jacob has a brand new picture book out called Princess Unlimited, about a business-minded princess who saves her kingdom. So if that sounds of interest to you, check that out wherever books are sold. Princess Unlimited.
Princess Unlimited.
Huh. Okay. A business-minded princess. I mean, that sounds like a Bravo show in itself.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Jen Shaw is a business-minded princess.
Yes. Okay. All right. So every week we get interesting social media clips from the listeners. They let us know about what's going on here in the different different tweets and whatnot from Survivor 41. So we have we mentioned Shan talking about the puzzle, but Lauren O'Connell weighed in. Of course, Evie told us about how it was from the Edge of Extinction. Lauren O'Connell said, I just watched the #Survivor episode from last night. And I literally laughed out loud when Evie solved the puzzle 2 seconds by saying, I remember that tribe sucking so bad. On behalf of Lesu, we're honored to be at your service, Evie.
Oh, that's funny. That's funny. That's funny.
Yes. And then Lauren Alexander said, I'm sure it's controversial, LOL, but I honestly think it's incredible that Survivor rewards players for being fans of the show. I think that's what makes Survivor so special. And Evie said, LOL, thank you.
Yeah.
Yay.
It's a neat little element to it, I guess, but it still can be a piss
well,
poor
Rob,
for other people.
do you have in the segment the thing that Evie tweeted about your coverage and the way that you have been so conscious of how you're referring to them?
No, I didn't pull that.
I knew you
for,
wouldn't.
Yeah, for this.
I knew you wouldn't, but I wanted
to
to bring it up because I
Yes.
thought that it was so lovely. Evie tweeted and said that they were very appreciative of how Rob and the team here has been handling their pronouns because they go by they, she. And when they were on the show, they exclusively use she pronouns. But they said they really appreciated that the folks at RHAP have been using both. Because they, she pronouns means that they is first. So that's their preferred pronoun, but they still will be okay if you use she for them. But
okay.
I just wanted to highlight that because I think that it's great. And, you know, everybody who's listening, just to fill everybody in on that's the way that Evie is feeling about their pronouns and just give you and the team kudos for being respectful of them.
Yeah. And I want to say that, you know, Brooklyn Zed had commented on the Lyrsa podcast and Zed had mentioned how it was, you know, very nice to hear us use the, preferred pronouns for Evie. And so that tweet thread had gotten some traction, and so I had not seen Evie had responded to Brooklyn Zed's tweet also. So yeah, nice to hear. You know, I feel like
you hadn't even seen that.
I hadn't seen it. I wasn't.
You gotta look.
Yeah, I wasn't tagged on it, so I didn't notice it. But that I'm reading it now, and it is nice. You know, I do feel like that it is like you know, I felt a little bit weird about it. Like I'm like, well, I feel like that this is like literally the very least that we can do is call a person by the pronouns that they want to be called by. And while I'm sure that we have, I know personally, I have not, been, right 100% of the time. I do try to make the effort because, whatever someone prefers to be called, I will do my best to call them that.
Yeah,
absolutely. And I just think for listeners to know, like, that's why within the podcast, you know, those are the pronouns that we've been using. We've been using they, she in reference to Evie. And if you're not on social media and don't see, that they have made that pronoun change because while they were on Survivor, they exclusively went by she. That's just good information for everybody at large to have.
I didn't even know that. So sorry if I said she and you prefer they, but sorry about that.
Okay.
The more you know.
The more you know.
That segment, the more you know.
Yes. So Evie also tweeted out pictures of the prep that they did to study for this puzzle,
I'm so intrigued.
Which was pretty cool. That Evie made. Evie mentioned it. A version of that puzzle with looks like these like beads and string to show what the puzzle pieces were to make the pyramid puzzle. So that was incredible.
Can you pull up the picture?
Yeah, give me a second and I can bring it up into the stream. But
I love when players paid that close attention to, like, we saw even with, like, I know Kevin Martin did it. Someone in Big Brother.
You know what? I mentioned Kevin Martin with Christian last night, and Christian was like, "Who is that?" And I really wanted to, say, like, maybe we should be calling them Evie Martin.
Evie Martin, yes.
Yes. Well,
maybe Evie is gonna win.
I didn't
Look, Kevin Martin was not in a great position.
Hey, maybe they can win out.
Yeah.
Listening to the podcast with Christian yesterday, he pointed out that Evie is now a doctor because their PhD, they defended their thesis.
Yes.
And I guess I didn't think like PhD student. I don't know why in my head I was like student. I didn't realize like PhD, like they're a doctor. Like, of course they have that amount of attention to detail when they're doing anything. I didn't put that together. And then when Christian was like, yeah, they defended their thesis. Like, now I think it's like evolutionary biology or something is their thesis. And I was like, well, of course they're going to make little beads.
Oh, wow.
Okay. So on the video here, here's Evie completing the puzzle. Then you could see then Evie has tied some beads together to build this version, and then here is the completed version of the puzzle. I'm always impressed when somebody like a contestant is able to do this, even though I said the Survivor should make new puzzles, like that they practice the exact thing that was in the show. Like I kind of feel like that, you could practice things, but like, what are the chances they're going to then actually do the thing that you practiced?
Definitely. Is Evie a crafter?
Oh, I don't know. That's not.
There looks like there's like little. It looked like there were little gems behind it in that photo.
Yeah, and I see the paint,
the jar.
I feel like
yeah.
Yeah.
Too, huh?
Yeah.
Evie, what do you craft?
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. So okay. Should be maybe there'll be a TikTok at some point to explain more of more crafts, or maybe there's other puzzles that Evie is gonna ace. Maybe that's gonna be the Evie Martin of it all, where Evie has practiced every single competition, and that's how Evie is just gonna win out because Evie has watched the most Survivor.
Literally, I mean, even the one when they were standing up and they had the thing right there on this week, they practiced.
Maybe
that
Evie
too.
practiced that one too.
Literally. Hey.
Strong ankles.
Yeah. Also, Ricard, that he had eaten the papaya. He tweeted out, "I had never had a papaya in my life. Ha 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 ha. Fun fact: I found that I'm allergic."
Oh,
because papayas have latex in them. Like papayas, kiwis, mangoes, I think all have latex in them. Technically.
Latex.
Yeah, and if you have a latex allergy, that is an issue.
Oh my god.
I could see like if that's your first time, I could see you want to let me try it, but I also still get their frustrations. And so, but damn.
Yeah.
I wonder what happened to him. I wonder because when I'm allergic to apples and when I eat them, my gums fizz up. And I wonder if that was that's similar. I know, yeah, it's not
fizz up.
Like, yeah. They bubble and like they literally like yeah.
Jacob, you have so many food issues.
Or child, it may be something else I've been getting into.
Are you sure it's not salt water?
It's salt water gave me that rash, Rob. I can tell you, I could peel off the rash. Like it was like
okay.
I kid you, literally. I had to go to the beach, but literally after I got the rash, I was like, I'm still gonna go in because I already got the rash. It's not gonna get worse. So I had to go to the beach with like underwear on because why did I go to the beach with underwear on? I didn't have to. I could have put I don't know.
Maybe you were trying to get into Survivor.
Yeah.
Wait, what did you say, Rob?
Maybe Tyler Perry was instructing you.
I thought you said Taryn was calling me.
No, that's a Freudian slip on your part. That's what you're hearing.
Yeah.
No, I kid you not. I thought you said maybe Taryn was calling you.
Maybe Taryn was calling. Yeah. Sydney, Maggie's favorite, that after Survivor announced that Survivor 42 is coming March 9th, Sydney tweeted, already advertising 42 because 41 ended last week. Wow.
She is a mess.
That is wild.
Maybe I should follow Sydney on Twitter. No, I don't follow Survivor players really, but like
Jacob, iconic. I'm telling you, iconic. The Lisa Barlow of it all.
Well, I'm not following her.
Okay, and then let me end this segment with one last post, and this comes to us from one of the stars of Survivor, David versus Goliath, coming to Netflix this week. It's a huge week for Davey Rickenbacker because he, on his recent appearance on Rob as a Podcast, plugged that he was going to be appearing on the Steve Harvey show.
I saw this.
And he was going to be competing in some sort of like Steve Harvey Bachelorette segment.
Speed dating type of thing, yeah.
Speed dating. And so here is Davey.
Steve is horrible.
How many people can say that they've gone joke for joke with the legendary I Am Steve Harvey? Tune into Facebook Watch to see who Netflix and Strong Black Leads Love is Blind star Diamond chose to go on a date with. So I guess you can watch the whole thing, but here is 37 seconds of Davey on the Steve Harvey show.
My brain. Yeah.
Well, what do we think about Steve Harvey's look here? I know that
I'm all for a denim on denim on denim.
This is like a denim suit. I've never seen this before.
It's beautiful.
It's not a denim
jacket. Hillbilly tux.
Yeah, that Maggie, this is a denim suit.
I love it.
He looks great. I love it. This is
a lot of buttons open too for Steve.
Yes.
He's just got to give it to the girls.
How about that? Okay. All right. Here's Steve Harvey.
Yeah.
What makes you laugh?
What makes you laugh is the question that Diamond is asking.
I'm a big kid at heart. So, I love watching cartoons, comic book movies, all of that type of
Steve Harvey has like the face, like this is like a bad family feud.
I'm a disappointed father. Yes, a bad family feud.
He's not liking that Steve doesn't want to hear about cartoons. He doesn't think this is something you should tell a woman. Yeah. Okay. But Davey goes on.
All of that type of stuff are things that just make me hee hee ha ha.
Steve is being such. Oh my gosh.
He does not like that. Davey talked about that. That's what makes him hee hee ha ha.
Wait, can we talk about Davey's suit as well, though?
Davey's got a great suit.
Literally, it's literally like
plaid. Love it.
So good. It looks so good. Fitted very well.
This is very good. All right, so let's see what happens next.
Hee hee ha ha.
She's laughing. Steve's not. He said, you can't really hear it. He said, you like cartoons, he says under his breath to the woman.
Some of them.
I'm sitting around watching no damn cartoons. Old ass man sitting up in there. I got to go to work. Teeny tiny them running around.
How rude is that, though? That's
Steve
so
Harvey's
rude.
Anti-cartoon.
And David could not do anything but laugh. Like, yeah, you know what I mean? I would be like, yo, chill out. But I want to see the clip because I saw that on Twitter surfacing, and I was like, wait, I have to see how this ends.
Yeah, you can check out the link. Go to Davey's Twitter, and then you can check out the whole link on Facebook. And Davey is really just promoting Survivor 37 coming to Netflix. Netflix should be paying Davey.
TBH. I mean, hey, Keke Palmer could easily watch his season, and then you know what I mean, match made in heaven.
Mm-hmm.
So
yeah. All right. Anything else? Survivor 41.
I was just gonna say, I think Davey's gonna be just fine when it comes out on Netflix because Davey is a star. Like everybody, obviously, like when you watch David Goliath, you're like, this guy is a freaking star. So people are gonna show him so much love. It's gonna be great.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
TBH.
Well deserved for Davey, but not just between like what he did in the season, but also the work he did behind the scenes on helping to get CBS to get the diversity initiative across in the work that he still continues to do. Where like even with the audience of the show, like Davey was somebody who even after he played, he said his goal was he wanted more Black people to watch Survivor. So, Davey has had like a mission about the show, since he went on the island, and it's so nice to see him enjoying some success after the show as well.
Definitely. I love it.
All right. Maggie, Jacob, we know every week we can tune in to the RHAP-ups to hear the Real Housewives of Salt Lake City. Is there anything else for people who are sort of on the fence about checking out the podcast that they should know?
Well, right now, currently in this season, we are getting to the episodes where one of the housewives literally on camera runs away And 10 minutes later, the Department of Homeland Security arrives to arrest her. Like, and the women, like, no idea. Like, literally, she is arrested on camera. We're going to watch the fallout of all of these women who've known her for several years now. Find out she's been allegedly defrauding elderly people for years and years. And she's literally arrested.
Wrong?
Is that wrong?
That's a crime. That's wrong.
Yes.
Yes. Okay.
To defraud elderly people.
I'm just checking. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, they gonna lock you up, Rob. They gonna lock you up. They gonna lock you up. Don't do it. Don't try it. Don't even think about it.
Okay. I just want to
inspire about it.
So don't do that.
Also, another teaser to get people excited. The executive producer, the guy at Bravo, Andy Cohen, he has said that this next episode that's about to come on, Real Housewives of Salt Lake City, is the top 5 best housewife episodes he's ever seen.
Oh my God.
Yes.
And there's like a million Housewives episodes.
Basically, you know what I mean? And so, hey, this is going to be a good one.
Okay. All right.
And you get to hear me and Maggie talk about it. And you honestly don't even have to like watch the show. You can just listen to our podcast, hear our taglines, tweet us your taglines, and make it happen. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm. All right. Well, head on over to robhasawebsite.com/housewives feed to subscribe to the Real Housewives feed on Apple Podcasts. And then what else is going on, Maggie? What's coming up for you?
Really just Housewives. I'm so excited that CBS announced the schedule because Big Brother Celebrity is coming back in February. And I know you covered it on Nothing But Netflix, but I've been loving this season of the Great British Bake Off.
Yeah, so I caught up on a couple episodes this past week.
It's so good. We're about to go to the semifinal. I mean, it goes back and forth, but I love Giuseppe. I think Giuseppe should be the winner. But I also love Jurgen. So if Jurgen doesn't win, I will be heartbroken for him. And also Chigs is so handsome. And so I love him. So I'm really loving that on Netflix too. And yeah, that's basically what I'm doing when I'm watching. Enjoying the Survivor season. On Wednesdays, if you are in the New York area and you want to watch the show on Wednesdays, Jordan Kalish, there's a bar in Midtown that he rents out a space and we can go and watch. I go and watch with my roommate and it's super fun. And you can hang out and watch.
On the Kalish tribe for Survivor nights.
Yeah, it's super fun. I go with my roommate and we sit there and I'm like, I'm Shan, you're Ricard. Okay, let's play out this scene. And like during the commercial breaks, we play out what we would do in the situations. It's very
with
fun.
Each other, or do you have an audience for that?
No, literally just each other. Just each other. We like talk to each other during the commercial breaks about like what, like during the JD vote out. I was like, well, I would want Jeannie to go. And then he gave me all of the reasons why JD needed to go from Ricard's perspective.
Yeah.
Or no, it was the Brad vote maybe. But like we really like gamed out the entire front half of the season from Shannon Ricard's perspective.
Wow.
As role playing. Yeah.
You're good at cosplay though, Maggie.
Cosplay?
You wear costumes?
I thought cosplay was the same as like role play. Sorry. I thought they were cousins.
You think I'm good at impressions.
Well, yeah, but I feel like cosplay is like acting. I guess I had the wrong. I didn't know costumes was sticking something over your body and running around. Is that what cosplay is?
That's cosplay.
I guess I'm confused at what cosplay is. I guess I didn't mean costumes. I guess I should have just said acting.
Thank you very much. Appreciate that.
I guess all cosplay is acting, but all acting is not cosplay.
True.
Oh, look at you, philosopher Rob. Damn.
Jacob, what's next for you?
What's next for me is life, love, prosperity, laughing. Me and Maggie been enjoying doing Real House of Salt Lake City with her every Monday. Rob, thanks for giving us the opportunity to talk about this whole crazy Real Housewife mess. It's been so much fun. And I'm about to move to the East Coast, so that's exciting.
Yes.
Gearing up for that in about 3 weeks.
What's
I'm gonna be
that like?
not a Texas boy. Rob, I'm not that stressed. Probably I should be more stressed, but I'm not. I'm kind of just like drinking some wine, planning out some things, and it'll happen. But you know, still a funny story. My mom was like, Jacob, what if you like get to New York? She doesn't want me to go. But I'm 24. I'm a grown ass man. I do what I want, right? And so what if like she was like, Jacob, right, mom? She was like, Jacob, what if you lose your job, you have no money? She was like, wait, never mind. I probably shouldn't say it. Never mind. Let's save it for it. Tweet me, I'll DM it to you. I just thought about the joke. It's kind of a sick joke. But yeah, so I'll be moving to the East Coast. I'll be moving to the East Coast. Okay. Basically, my mom was like, yo, Jacob, if you like lose everything, like, will you be like, basically she said, become a prostitute. And I was like, honestly, mom, like, if I can make money from it, absolutely. Like, why not?
Sex work is work, baby.
Period. Yeah. And so I'm all for it. But no, I'm excited, Rob. I'm in this new. I'm excited. I'm excited, Rob. Damn it. And yeah, that's what's happening in my life right now, other than podcasting and watching shows. And I've been addicted to The Voice this season. That's another show that I've been starting to watch. Yes, which I hate competition.
Ariana Grande breathed new life into The Voice.
Well, I don't watch it for her. I watch it for Kelly Clarkson. I think Ariana's team is like Ariana's cute and like whatnot, but she is the reason why I started watching. But I'm living for Kelly Clarkson, her whole team. So I'm like loving The Voice this season. And I used to watch it early on. I stopped, but now I'm back and I watch weekly and I get excited about it. And so Maggie has the Great American Bake Off, British Bake Off, and I have The Voice.
Yeah. Okay.
Oh, and Rob, I'm so excited that Amazing Race is coming back. I didn't expect. I don't know how they filmed it, but
I think they had a private plane. Yeah.
I'm literally so excited because I watched the last season, the first season I ever watched last season. Loved it. Thought it was so fun. Went back to binge literally every season, and it's not on Paramount Plus. Can anybody tell me where I can find old seasons of the Amazing Race? Because it's not on Paramount Plus, which I don't understand. I pay for Paramount Plus. Shouldn't Amazing Race be there?
Yeah, they don't have access to it. I don't know. I'm sure that there will be listeners who will message you and tell you how to watch the old Amazing Race season.
Please, you're welcome to.
Yeah. Okay. So this was so much fun to talk with both of you about Survivor. We'll continue talking Survivor with, as you mentioned, the Amazing Race, Jessica Leese on Monday night, 7 p.m. Eastern, with the patrons. Rob is website.com/patron for the link for that. Plus, over the weekend, I will be talking about on the Nothing But Netflix podcast. Puya Zambakili will join Chappelle and me to talk about the brand new movie Red Notice, starring The Rock and Ryan Reynolds.
Oh, I haven't seen it, but
just came out today, I think.
Oh,
I'm loving that podcast, Rob.
So cute.
I'm loving it.
Well, I'm loving doing it. So we're looking forward to that. And then over the weekend on Rob and Kivanita podcast, we will be doing the first ever dad joke off, where we're going to see if a panel of people who do not like dad jokes will laugh at any of the dad jokes submitted by the listeners.
That's funny. I feel like hopefully
panel?
Look, you got to tune in to find out.
That was a secret. Sorry. Hopefully the people that are on the panel aren't like hard asses, aren't being like, oh, I don't like dad jokes, so I'm like gonna consciously not laugh at anything.
I hope they are.
I want them to genuinely express themselves. If they think like, oh, a dad joke, oh, Tommy, what's 2 + 2? 5. Hee hee ha ha. You know what I mean? Like, and so I hope like they just don't like stifle.
I mean, that's not a dad joke.
I'm not a dad. So I shouldn't even be telling. I'm 24. Well, I may have some kids up there somewhere, Rob. So, but not that I'm not a dad that I know of. I'm not a dad that I know of, and so
that was a good dad joke.
I just hope. Oh, I am a daddy. I'm a daddy, and so I just hope that they actually like genuinely express themselves and not try to like really restrain themselves from laughing.
Mm-hmm. Okay. Well, that's how you know that if it breaks the judges, then it's a great dad joke.
Hey, it'll be fun to watch.
Yeah.
Is it going to be streamed on like YouTube or on Twitch?
It depends. Akiva can't always get his camera working. Sometimes he's on you're talking about one computer and then he's like talking to you on a camera that's on a different computer. So we'll see. I gotta be. That's a game time decision on these RHAP things. Okay. All right. But make sure you subscribe to all the podcasts. Go to robinswebsite.com/subscribe to make sure you're not missing any of the fun we're having here on RHAP. Thank you so much for joining us. Take care, everybody. Have a good one.